Okay, first things first. Keys should always be remappable in games, even a simple game like this. The up arrow, right arrow seems kind of odd when you have your hand on the A and S key. It doesn't have a natural feel to it. Players should always be allowed to readjust it. I noticed we were missing one thing in the tutorials, and that is about the interface, about adjusting the background which we're dancing in, as well as the speed. In fact, I think the speed should be defaulted to 1.5 or 2. 4 seems pretty fast for somebody that starts the first time. Here in the dance classes, we're missing a skip button. Some players like me that have to repeat it 2 or 3 times, we don't want to have to listen to the character every time we do it. We'd rather just go in, do our class, and get it over with. Listening to it the first time is fine, but after that first time I should be allowed to skip if I want to. The backgrounds of the dance areas are great. I love the looks of all of them. However, our dance classes are lacking. Right now we have them all in a classroom where I should be sitting in a chair, writing on a chalkboard, and taking notes. I think that those backgrounds should change as you go through them. This lobby windows and such like that, all the pinks and blues and stuff like that, we should be allowed in the options menu to change those. Maybe only give us a few choices each, but allow us to put them in the colors we want, because some of those colors are kind of bright on some of these monitors. I noticed during competition that sometimes a character will stop even though it's doing perfects and getting their moves right. The character just stands there. I think the character shouldn't just stand there like a zombie. I think it should move a little bit, and every time it gets a couple perfects in a row, it should do at least a move, whether it be a foot or a hand. I also noticed that the UI isn't movable at all, and that's one thing players love nowadays, is being able to adjust their UI, even if it's as simple as moving it around. Also, resizing helps too. Some players could care less about the versus bar, but want to see the actual points keep going up and down, up and down. The bottom left is odd. My level in the song, most people are used to seeing it in that top left corner of every game. I'd make it in the top left, but I'd also make it movable. Players can move it wherever they want. The chat interface, same thing. It should be movable. Most players are used to it being on the left, and even if it was overlaid on top of your little dance icon arrows there, it wouldn't interfere because they're big and bright. Also, the chat function is hard to get used to. Most players are used to hitting enter, typing something, and enter again to send the message and to close the chat. I mean, there are some variations to it, but hitting enter first always seems to be something that we're used to in all MMOs or all games actually online now. So that feature needs to be included since it's not used during dance competitions anyway. The other players, they just seem too blasé, standing there, walking around. I mean, they don't turn very well. When they turn, they do a 90-degree flip. They need to have a little bit more gradual turn to them. They need to add a few more angles in there, maybe 20 degrees at a time or something, so they seem to actually turn rather than spin. Players that are just standing there also should be given some emotes, maybe / clap so the character can clap, / cheer so they can throw their hands in the air and cheer their buddy, / laugh, just any kind of emotes so they can have something to do while they're watching you. And this is my visual take on dance.